Alright, y'all. Just wanted to share this stand that I made. Not that it's anything great, but it is useful. Something you might be able to use some ideas, make your own, or get ideas and make something else kind of similar from it. But here's how it started. I bought with this stool right here to use for the Xbox CRT. Went from a friend. Free Xbox with a rebate, I think. Got some like 99-cent games. But I was just using the 3SO for practice on that in training mode. Work on some stuff. And I bought the stool mainly to use at arcade tournaments because a lot of the arcade tournaments I went to, they had chairs that were always the wrong height, so I couldn't get the right angle. Always end up missing stuff. So that's why I bought the stool. But after a while practicing, I think I saw Exodus playing on Fightcade, and it actually looked really responsive. One of the first times I've seen online looking responsive in a long time. So I started using that, just playing on with the stool and on my lap, but that's a no-go. That doesn't work. So I needed something a little better because it was pretty decent actually playing even in the training mode on with the new emulator. So this is as close as I could get. So the idea was this is a really bad mock-up or extender right here. I don't know how the lighting is, but I'll post a pic of the original. This is the extension, so I can play a little more relaxed. But it's kind of the whole thing's a really just throwing together a prototype. It works, but it wouldn't be anything that I'd take with me anywhere. It's just mainly for practice for arcade cabinet. But the idea, I'll zoom back a little bit. The idea is to use this stool as your weight so you can get good stability on the stick. Use your own body weight, and it creates basically however much you weigh, but it's going to act a lot more like you're playing on a cabinet. I know they have some things out there like I think it's Qamba, I don't know, QANBA. They're like tables, you know, they have legs that you probably screw them or not screw them, you probably twist them or lock them into position. But anyway, the idea, this is just like I say, it's kind of a prototype. The idea, if I were to ever make something like this in the future, a better one, I'd put this part, the top part where the stick stays. I probably should be filming like this. I just realized this. Wow, I'm such a noob. The top, whatever you want to call it, part where the stick stays in. Here, I want to put on a track that locks into position. Right now it's just screwed in and use Gorilla Glue too, just to make sure it's nice and tight. And actually there are screws down here too. I don't have enough light, but you get the idea. And under here too. I don't think you'll be able to see anything under here right now too much. Yeah, a little bit. But I'll zoom out later and get a full pic of it so you can get an idea. These are just extra. There's nothing there. But, yeah. Some people helped me with this. Most of it was my idea. I got some inspiration, I think, probably from one of K.O. Fiend's original ideas, which I kind of helped him with, but it was mostly just bouncing ideas off him. Or him bouncing ideas off of me to get what he wanted. This part right here where the stick seals in, and actually the whole tray that the stick sits in is kind of taken from his idea. I'm pretty sure he came up with that. I don't think I really helped him out with that. But yeah, I used some of these pieces of wood that are left over just from the original cutting. Just little scraps. Sometimes I'll stick them in here to keep everything nice and tight, or use paper to stick everything in there to keep everything very snug. But yeah, I use tracks. Get back to what I was saying. I use tracks for this part and for the bottom too, because you can see how it hangs off. So I put everything on a track so you can see, you know, I wouldn't have to use this extender here. I can fit on it comfortably without using an extender, but I've just done this over time, just because it's a comfortable position for me to sit in, based on how close the monitor is, because the monitor doesn't really actually sit as close as an arcade cabinet would. It's a little bit different of an angle, but try to go for the same thing. I'll let you guys get a little sample here. Just give you a quick little sound test here. I'm sitting down in it. One thing I'll mention too, maybe I'll just mention it in the comments for time, but I'll mention it in the comments actually later. Get an idea of how sturdy it is and everything. It's pretty close to playing on an arcade cabinet, a little bit of difference, but I'll mention it in the comments.